Hi friends, it's Jenny and I am going to be making today from the Soft Flex kit for the Customer Appreciation Week. It's called So Charming, and this is what I have in the box. I've got some other stuff set aside, and you might notice that there's some yellow that got added in here. That's because I recently got the Carnival bead strand, and when I was looking at this heart that was part of the bead strand for this kit, and I saw that it's the same as this heart, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to do my blue and yellow combination together. So I am going to be creating with shades of blue and teal and yellow and some bright crystals. I brought in a couple of things from my stash, but most of what I'm going to be using today is going to be coming from a combination of this kit and the bead strand from the Carnival themed TGBE kit. So you can see these are the pieces that I'm not using that I've gone ahead and put in here. So let's see what I've got. This is actually, you may not see this until late Sunday night or maybe even early Monday morning, but we've had a really busy week over at our channel. So Becky and I are both filming our second chains for this week of our September chain challenge. I have so far created 5 designs. This is going to be my sixth design, and Becky's also going to be working on hers. I know that just because of how she's not going to be staying up as late as me, and so she's going to film tonight and then probably release hers tomorrow. So you'll see it during the day, but it counts for this week. She made it Sunday, and I'm doing the same thing. It might kind of cross over the line. You might not see it till Monday. But this is me playing catch up because, as you know, I don't like to be behind, but I do it anyway. So let's kind of play with what I've got going on here. So I was thinking about using this charm because of the bright yellow, and it just really pulls in these same kind of yellows we have here. So I made a little link that pulls that in. I also made a link that matches it that is in the blue, but I think I'm going to do these in the earrings. I'll show you why, because I'm thinking I'm going to use this birdie who's on the bead strand with a couple of sparkly things to hold him here. I'm ignoring the fact that this charm is actually gold because honestly, with all the fun bright yellows, you kind of stop looking at the metal. This is just kind of the same warm tone, so that's okay. He can be gold, and I'm using silver for everything else. Totally fine. I'm making a series of links. Like this was one of the beads from the Carnival bead strand. This was a bead that was in the bead mix, I want to say, from the So Charming kit. And I pulled some other crystals that are the same, like kind of greeny teal color. I added, these are the bead caps that were in the kit. Becky tested them and they tested negative for nickel. There were some findings that did test nickel present. So I was really glad that Becky tested so that I could know which ones I could use or not use. But we've got these, and then I added these little yellow, yeah, you can see that they're yellow when I hold them over the mat. These little yellow, in fact, I can show you in my little dish, my little ladybug dish. Kind of brings in some of that, you know, bright yellow that we had going on. So I've got some yellow there I added from my stash. These little clear crystals, I wanted this size. I grabbed those from somewhere else in my stash, but I did use some of the round crystals from this collection here, as well as some of the little crystal spacers, the teal spacers. And then this bead was from the Carnival bead strand. And yeah, so I have a lot of different kinds of links. Oh, and I also made as kind of filler links where I want a little bit more articulation in the chain, and also to add some length, these AB disco crystals, the clear ones. I did play around with the teal ones and the white ones, but these ones just, they felt better for how I wanted to use them. So I made a bunch of those. I'm going to make at least one of each of these links with you for this beaded chain. So I'm going to go over the bits and pieces that go on it as we get those links put together. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So this is what I'm using from the kit. I am going to be using, it is 20 gauge. I know it's kind of worn off. This is 20 gauge craft wire from Soft Flex. I'm going to be doing simple loops today. I was going to do wrapped loops for my next beaded chain this month or this week. I know I told you guys I was going to do that, but when I'm using the soft flex craft wire, because I'm still really learning the wrapped loops, I feel like I have more control if I work with a harder wire, and I wanted to use their product with their kit if at all possible. So we're going simple loops, which is fine because I think it fits the simplicity of this design as well. And then I'm going to be using my Casual Comfort plier set, round nose pliers, chain nose pliers, and some flat nose pliers so that I can work harden and straighten my loops, as well as be able to easily open and close things as we assemble our chain. And I've got some flesh cutters. I think that covers the materials. So let me get this wire open, and I'm going to move the links that we've already created up. And then we're going to bring down some of these components so that we can make more links. So we've got our heart links we're going to make, and they each get, I also used the just one of the bead caps. It cradles the bottom, which I think is really cute. It just, that's how it looks on the bottom of the heart. It makes them special. So I've got one of each of those for the hearts. I'm going to be doing the sparkly dudes with my bird, and this is going to be the link that holds the flower. I did not get out. I'll need to grab it here in a minute. I've moved some things around. There it is. I've got a box of like charms and findings, and in here I have several links, and I do like to use, I know I can attach the links directly to each other, and that's fine, but I do like to use a multi-point connector when possible. And I love these little Celtic designs. See, I've got a whole bunch of them. So I can use them as charms. They're meant to be charms, but also because of the looping style, I can use them in a lot of things. So I am getting that out of my stash. We will use it. And you might have something, you might have this or something similar like it, but I do like to use those for multi-point connections. And let's just get the wire out. So this is 20 gauge wire. I am smoothing it out by running it between my thumb and my forefinger, just kind of back and forth. It helps to get the kinks out, and it also helps to warm up the wire. You can smooth your wire using nylon jaw pliers. That's totally fine. Just be mindful that it may start to work harden your wire, whereas I'm making it warm so it's more pliable. So that's something Becky does, and I learned from her, and so I do it too. So let's just start loading my wire with all of our different links, and we're going to make them kind of assembly style. So I'm putting on one of my little crystally balls and my little porcelain bird and another crystally ball. See, he's all dressed up too, just like the hearts are going to be dressed up. And speaking of the hearts, we put the bead cap with the open face up, and then the heart point down, and then a crystally ball. And like I said, I'm probably going to be using these blue ones with the earrings. Oh, I didn't show you this because I'm using these with the earrings. So this little guy was from the Wild Mushroom design kit, and there was just one. And I didn't get that kit, but I loved the mushroom because I love blue. And so I ordered it, and I thought I ordered two, but I only got one. So you might have seen in one of my recent hauls, I got the other one. So here are my two mushrooms together, and they're going to be a fun part of my earring design. And then let's get the yellow heart on here. We'll work on them later. They'll have their own little things that we do. We'll get out some ball pins and add some things and attach it with either one or two links to the ear wire. So we've got some sway and jangle. Okay, so then after our hearts, we've got our clover. This is our clover, the yellow clover. There was a dark blue clover in the new kit off of the strand as well, but it was a little bit too dark for all of the other blues that I chose for this. So I passed on that for this, even though I could have done it to match these. There's only two of these. So we've got two of the blue hearts, two of the yellow hearts, two of these guys. So we're making one of each, and I've just got one more set aside besides that. And then the other one that we're making one of each is this one that uses the crystal rondelle that was from the bead mix, and then one of the teal crystal spacer bars. I don't know what to call those. I know it has a name. And then this yellow rondelle that was from the Carnival bead strand. And then another one of these guys, and then another one of these little crystal rondelles. So this is the larger size crystal rondelle, and I liked it better than the smaller ones I pulled from my stash. So for this link, this is what we have going on. And so I've got one more of those as well. Now, for my other links, I do have multiples. So I've got 3 of these links here. We're going to use a total of 4. So this is our 4th one that we're doing, and this one is using one of my yellow rondelles that I pulled from my stash. A bead cap, open up, this larger teal rondelle, and then the bead cap open down, and then another one of the yellow rondelles. So that's another link, and like I said, I'm using everything else so far. We're using 2 of. This one we're using 4. And then the other one that we're using 4, I'm using one of the smaller crystal rondelles from my stash. And one of these, like, it's like a drop shape, but it's kind of like a squatty drop shape. I think it also kind of looks a little bit like, if you have it point down like this, it looks a little bit like a diamond. We're going to be using it facing a couple of different directions in my design, just to play around with that shape, because it is different top to bottom. Kind of looks like a balloon as well. Like that could be like a hot air balloon. It's got that shape to it. More bulbous than a lot of drops. That's a good word. We don't get to use a word like that very often. Okay. And so we're going to use 4 of those. And then the other type of link that we have is one of, like I said, our little disco ball guys. And right now I have 7 made, I think. Oh, I have 8 made. How did that happen? No, I have 9 made. So right now we're going to use 10 of these. Currently it's going to be 10 on each side, but I might make more of these if I either need more length or if I decide to use them in my earring design. And that is just the 1 bead. So we're going to start with that one because I've got everybody strung all here. So I've got my wire loaded so that I can just work on each of these links, because there are a lot of different links, kind of assembly style. And I know Becky has done that before, but I'm going to go ahead and show you too. So I am starting by making my simple loop. And I noticed the other day that Becky and I actually make our simple loops just a little bit different. You may have already noticed this. So we start the same way, where we pinch it between. I like mine closer to the end of my pliers, fairly small loops. And then I roll mine toward me. Becky rolls hers away. And I hadn't realized that. So then once I've got it to where this metal meets metal, then I just open my pliers, swing it around so that the bottom jaw is kind of against the wire, and just give it a little knock. What that does is it centers the loop. Here we go, centers the loop, instead of having it stay like a P or a Q. And then I'm just going to take this, and about 1 finger length down, I'm going to flush cut it with the flush side towards the spool, because this guy's going to get 1 more trim, and this way my next link is going to start with a flush end. So there is a reason I do that. And then I just take this and I just have the bead down here, hold it. I'm just using my thumbnail and my fingers and just bending that over the top. Since this is a dead soft wire, it is pretty easy for me to do, but you can also use pliers if you need or want to. So that's the basics of how I'm starting. So I'm just going to go ahead and get all these other guys to that same point, and then we'll show how we finish our simple loops. So I'm just going to keep doing it here on screen. So you'll watch me repeat those steps, but I won't necessarily talk you through each of them. We've got several links that we're making at the moment, so it's the repetition will be there if you want it. I tried to, guess what? Your round nose pliers do not cut flush. They don't. They don't. Good try though, Jen. We had a really fun week. It was a busy week. We had a lot of lives. We love everybody who came and joined us, whether they were on screen or in the chat or caught up later on replay. It was a great celebration. If you missed it, it is available on replay. If you just want to, check out the shenanigans, we had some party crashers. So there's some other faces that you might recognize, or if you don't recognize them, links to their channels are in the description of that video. So, just sharing that beady love, if we can. But it was a milestone for our channel, and we decided to do a thing for it. That means that I'm not done with that yet. So if you've watched that, you know that we gave away several little bundles. We're going to be doing a bead along in a couple of weeks on October 4th. And I need to send out bundles to all the people who won them. So after I finish recording this, while it's processing and uploading and getting ready for your viewing pleasure, I will be finishing the packaging and addressing all of those bundles so that I can take them to the post office tomorrow. So I've got a busy night still ahead of me, and it is currently about 10 o'clock. Sometimes I'm recording at 4 o'clock in the morning. Not so this time, but I might still be awake at 4 o'clock in the morning if I'm still working on these other tasks. So we did get a little bit behind. We did not create as many new videos this week. Becky had some things going on in life. I did manage to get some makes out for all of you, but they weren't the ones that I didn't just do chain. I did one chain, and then I did this one, and I did something else. I don't remember what it was. But we've got some unboxings coming up this next week, as well as some more makes, quite a few makes. So we did go a little bit easy on our tutorials this last week, partly because of what Becky had going on, and partly because Softflex was doing their Customer Appreciation Week. And again, I am using their kit to make this design. We'll have links to Softflex below. I don't know if this kit is sold out or if it's still available, but I will also have a link to their playlist for all of the great tutorials and content that they did, not just with this kit, but also with the other creators and companies that they invited to participate in this Customer Appreciation Week. So that information is going to be below. But because there was so much content for that, there were 3 videos every day, 5 days in a row, that you can all still go and watch. It was not restricted to certain people. It's just everybody free to access, and you can watch on replay. They'll just stay available. So if you want to check that out, you can. But because all of that was going on, we also felt like people were probably going to be a little bit stretched thin on their time as well. I know not everybody does Softflex or watch the Softflex stuff, but with so many other companies involved, if we were going to go light on content one week, this was the week to do it, with us leading up to our big celebration, and also, with everything else that was going on in the community. So I'm sorry if you missed us. We missed you too. But we're definitely here, and we're back, and you're going to see a lot of stuff from us in the coming days, just because we've got a lot still going on, just different things, different direction. So what I'm doing now is, from where these were bent over, I'm snipping off all but about 1 centimeter, and I am using my finger to measure that, so it's a little bit of an estimate. So that I can roll that bottom link. And so I'm just getting a little bit off of each of these, but it is giving us that nice little trim. So we've got a flush cut going on here, and I know that it's the length that I want, and I'm not just trying to guess it from when I first cut it. So a little bit easier, tiny bit of waste because of the trimming, but you can see how little I'm actually cutting off. There's not really a whole lot there. And until I roll that second loop, those bead caps are going to try to escape. But they're not going to be like the bead caps that I was fighting with the other night, because they don't have the little holes in them to get caught on. they'll behave much better. So almost. All right, and then after I finish getting all of these trimmed down to about 1 centimeter, then I'm getting my round nose pliers back out. This is why Becky does it assembly style, so that you can do all the tasks with one tool and not constantly be switching between them. It's easier to keep track of where you are in the process as well. So I'm just doing the same thing again, where because I've bent that over, I don't need to center it after. I just roll from here, and when I bring that metal around, I have a little loop. I'm going to be trying to have these be parallel loops. Some of them did what they were supposed to. Some of them decided to turn around on the like while I was bending, and so see, that cap just came off a little bit, so I just get it back on there, make sure that it's in position, that I'm holding all of the beads nice and tight against the other loop, and continuing the process of rolling these. But once I finish rolling all of these, I'm going to get out both of my pliers, the flat nose and the chain nose, and I'm going to put one loop in each one, and I will use that to check and make sure that my, let's go ahead and do this while we're at it, dealing with the little bead caps. But when we do that, we will work harden them and also make sure that my loops are aligned the way I want them to be, because I'll show you how we adjust that. So it's great if you can get them aligned correctly without having to adjust them, but if it's wrong, you don't have to start over. You just get it there and give it a little twist, and I will show you. You may have already done it before, but if you are new or just getting back to beading, I loved hearing so many people during our live and in responses afterward as well, that they either had been beading before and they wanted to get back to it and we helped them get back to it, or they're thinking about getting back to it now, or, you know, all those things. And if you are one of those people, I love that you shared that with us, that we're encouraging you to pick it back up, or to pick it up for the first time, and to not be scared about it, because we do try to explain everything. It might be a little bit repetitive for those who are familiar, but you know, you have to learn somewhere, and that's one of the great things that YouTube is so great at. So here I am with both of my pliers, and I'm going to take this one. This one I know is not facing the right way. So I put one loop through this plier, and then I grab the other plier. Oh, look how bad that is. These are not parallel loops. So this is the position of the loops right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm giving them both a little squish. That helps to work harden them. And then I'm rotating my pliers so that they are parallel. And now I have parallel loops. So you see lines both directions when they're lines, and I think my wire is just a little bit bent. But yeah, that's how you do it. So everybody's getting a work harden. This one is a lot closer to parallel. I'm just giving it a tiny adjustment as I work harden. This is another one that was a little bit farther off. That's okay. Little twist. Everybody's getting the plier treatment. Just a small adjustment and a little squish so that we can make sure that our stuff is nice. And my bird is going to twist and turn any way that she wants to. Oh, this is actually like perfectly lined up. I didn't have to twist that one. The bird is going to twist around however she wants to, and that's fine. None of these beads need to face a specific way, and so they're going to be a lot easier to deal with and connect because of that. So let's start by attaching our charm to this link, and right now they're the same way, and so you might look at this and think, oh, I need to do a jump ring. Well, you can, but then you would also need to do a jump ring here. So instead, I'm going to use this link to connect to this and this, but the bar is going to be up and down like this instead. because the bird, it will twist in the bird. So I'm opening one end, the bottom. So this is the bottom of the bird. I'm opening the bottom of the bird. And I'm just holding it in my fingers. I can get my other pliers out if something is small and finicky. Like when I deal with the smaller links, I might need to. But here I can hold it and I can just gently twist this open as if it was a jump ring. Just a little movement so that the loop stays formed, but you can add your charm. So then I just swing it closed, make sure that that's metal to metal so it's nice and secure. And now we have, this is the only thing that does need to face a certain way, and that is the flower. So when I'm adding the clasp, I'll be checking the position of this flower, but otherwise it doesn't matter. Not with this design. So I'm at the top of the bird, I swung that open, and I am taking this charm as the same front to back. And here is the loop where it hangs from. And then it's got these 3 points. I'm going to use this to attach to the bird. And then my chains are going to attach to either side here. Okay. So just getting that on there and swinging it closed. So now we have our little focal section. Our focal area with our charm and our bird and our little Celtic swirly symbol, which matches, you know, fits in with a lot of the loops and things that we're doing. So I don't feel like that's out of place. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to be doing is making our chain itself. Now, I played around with the position of some of these things, and I'm going to do it again right now. Now I've got all of my links here, and figure out what order I want them. So I know, putting this here as just as a reference, let me move my tools out of the way for a minute, because right now we're playing with links. So this is where we're kind of positioning and deciding how do we want this to happen. And I think I want these links, because there's one of each of these here. It introduces the idea of this combination of colors close to the focal. So your eye is drawn to that. And then I want to use these little guys to attach to our hearts, because I want them not too far away from our bright sunny guy. This is going to be roughly a 20-inch necklace. I won't know for sure until I've finished getting it all together, but it's going to be about a 20-inch necklace. And so these are going to hang like this, and so be part of that moment. And then let's do a couple more of these little guys. We're not doing these between all of our links, but I am doing them around links that I want to kind of like have more of a moment than others. I really like this combination of, where did they go? This color, yes. I'm missing something. Oh. Before we do that, I think I want to do this. So we'll have that on either side of it. And then, yes, and then one of these. And then this is where we're going to bring in our little clover, yellow clovers. But I've got 4 of these. Where's the 4th one? This. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a grouping of 3 links in a row without that interruption. See this over here? And then we'll have another one of these and this, but see, this one was facing up, so this one will probably face down. So we play around with the different directions those can go. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. So let me finish laying out both sides. It is kind of a longer necklace than I usually do, but I wanted to play with all these different colors and beads, and I missed something. What did I miss? Oh, no, that we were just going to end with one each of those. Right? Yeah, because these are the 3 links that are all going to be together without the little smaller one too, because I feel like they just go really well. And I didn't want to add too much length using these. If I do decide that I want to add these, it's going to add an inch to each side, because each of these takes about 1/2 inch. So that is what I'm trying to keep in mind, is like, if I want to add them, I need to acknowledge that this is going to be a longer necklace by, you know, an inch on each side. So this is already kind of pushing the length for me. I like them shorter. I might cut some of this if I'm putting it together. I'm like, no, this is just too long. But we'll see. We'll see. So now we're back here with the pliers. I'm going to use the flat nose when I need them, but mostly I'm going to be holding the link itself and swinging it open, just like I did when we were assembling the focal area, sliding the next link on, closing it, and then opening the other loop on that next link, putting my heart so that it's, you know, bead cap side down, point down. And then doing another one of our little, oops, disco balls. I like the disco balls. They're fun. And with that AB, you get those flashes of like bright, sunny yellow and orange as well to pull in what we did with the gold charm that came in the kit, as well as all of the fun yellow we added from that Carnival strand. And this, putting it together, I'm really going to get an idea of how it flows, how it feels, how it looks. And I might make some adjustments as we do that, but I think this is going to be nice. I think this is going to be nice. And I have an estimate of about how long it's going to be. I can actually like test the length, like the way it would fit on me, but also I can get out a tape measure and see how long the one side is. Oh no. That was me dropping one of my links. I may have to pause and find that. It may have gone under my desk in a way that I can't do. It's the one for this side because I had everything laid out. I should not have left it that way. Yeah, that's my bad. I think it was just one of the disco balls. So I have plenty more of those. If it was one of my one-off links, then we might be in more trouble. No, it wasn't. It was a disco ball. I can make another disco ball link if I don't find that easily. Got these a little bit out of order, but I reminded myself that this is the 3 links that I wanted to have together without the disco ball in between. And it gives kind of some of that visual interest and a break too. I like that. And this is also going to be the part of the chain that should go around the neck itself. So when your hair's up and stuff like that, it's really pretty, but it doesn't necessarily need to be longer just to maintain the same pattern, I guess, as the rest by having these in every spot. Okay, I am going to check this. I've got one more link to add before I'm going to check it. Because if I need to, I can leave these ones off that I was going to put at the very end and use them in the earrings, and then they're already made. So let's, oh, this was up, so this one is going down. Just like I said, to play with how that shape just looks different depending on which way you point it. So this is 1/2 of our chain. And oh gosh, I think that's actually almost perfect. I'm going to leave off my disco ball that I was going to put here at the end because I am going to need a little bit of room for clasping. I'm going to go for a very simple clasp. I'll probably just attach a lobster claw and may even have it loop in here because this is a decent size loop. If I want a little bit more movement, then I'll add a jump ring as well. But I think that this is pretty good. So let's get this other side put together. I'm going to pause this for just a moment just to see if I can locate that link quickly. That would be a no. I am not quite sure where that link fell to, but like I said, it's one that we're probably going to add to the earrings. So I'll just make another one when we're making the earrings. That is absolutely not a problem. So let's get this other side all connected. This shouldn't take too long. We've already got it all figured out. And oh yeah, I was going to show you the drape. So this is the drape of this. So you get a lot of movement here with these smaller ones, but even here where we've got the 3, it doesn't move quite as easily, but again, that's a section of the necklace that won't actually move very much when it's worn. So it should be lovely. Making sure that I don't lose track of what I'm doing. So I can just compare it to this other one, make sure that I've got the order the same, and I do. Did you guys have a good week last week? Since, you know, you'll probably be seeing this either late Sunday night or early Monday morning. Did you have a good week? A good weekend? I hope you did. And I hope that you have a great week coming up too. Let's see, this is the clover, or quatrefoil, I think is what it's called. Might not actually be a clover, I think that's a quatrefoil. There's a fancy name for it, and I think that's what it is, but I could be wrong. All right, getting this last put together. And then it's just a matter of assembling the necklace itself. Sometimes I pause while I connect the other side, but this one had enough change in what order you do things that I went ahead and did it while I was on camera with you, in case you wanted a reminder of that order, and also just to hang out. So these are equal sides. I think they look fantastic. And I'm just gonna open one side right here, and I'm gonna attach it to our little Celtic charm. And then open this side. And attach it on this side. And I do small loops, and it sometimes bites me when I'm trying to get through something that's a little bit thicker, like that. Oh, is that gonna be stiff? No, it's fine. So that's the necklace, and I am gonna grab, I thought I had it out, but I didn't, just a little lobster claw. And this is going to be, so if the pendant is facing forward, this on the left is actually going to be my right hand side. So when I'm wearing the necklace, that's the right hand side. So this is where I want to attach my lobster claw. And like I said, I think I'm just going to try attaching it directly and using the existing loop on the other side, just so that I'm not making this longer than I really want it. I can use jump rings. I'm checking the length right now to see if I need to add those. And, oh, I do not, because this is perfect. Friends, this is perfect. Okay. Yes. Loving that. So let's go ahead and design some earrings. We're sitting at about 40 minutes for this video, which is not too bad for having finished our necklace and having a little chat while I've got a general idea what I want to do for my earrings. I do need to get, I thought I had my pins out. I do have some pins. Those are long ones though. Yeah, I'm going to use it. We'll just cut off a little extra. But because these pins are stainless steel, I got out my memory wire cutters for snipping those pins so that I don't dull my flush cutters. We have our heart charms here, and I've got some ear wires. A couple of easy to go. These are nickel-free ear wires. They're just some not very expensive ones that I got on Amazon, but they are actually nickel-free. I've worn them a lot and never had a reaction, so that is encouraging. And I think I want to bring in some of the colors that we played with in this design, because these blues are a different tone than those blues, which is why I paired them together for the earrings, and they are adorable that way. But we might want to go ahead and pull in a little bit, and maybe with these yellow crystals here, I have enough that we can play. So I want to put more than just the mushroom on the bottom, because it does catch on the pin, but it's close. I think it needs to sit on something. Yeah. See, and they catch differently. One catches up inside and one doesn't. So I don't want them to be weird with each other. So let's just put on some of these little crystals, the small crystal above and below. And then I don't have any more of these bead caps. I used all of them in my design because I used them with the flowers or the hearts as well. So I think this is what I want for the bottom portion. And then I think what I want to do is make a link in between that will connect them. So we've got these kind of blues, but also pulls in some of these blues that we were playing with down here. So we can do a couple of things. We can either do the yellow and a disco ball and a yellow, and so then we've pulled in the yellow and it's still its own separate thing, or we can do similar to the links we used before, but no bead cap to do that. And I'm just holding them together like this, roughly the order that I'm thinking about having them. And I think I want to have that be separate. So I think we're bringing in the crystal and the yellow and doing the disco ball, just because there's a reason that I didn't put these colors directly with the more teal tones, but they also feel like they fit thematically, and this yellow is not going to look weird with the blue. I think that's what I'm going to do. So that's what I'm doing, guys. That's what I'm doing. So, oh, and I was thinking about using one of these anyway. Oh, well, do I do a link that adds the yellow? Or do I just do this? I might just do this. It's all kind of just icy blue. And then it goes with a lot of other things too. But then I feel like it doesn't match as well with the necklace. Oh, design decisions. I think I like this better though. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I'm just gonna make one more of these little disco ball links just by itself. We're not gonna worry about the yellow. I am gonna leave out 2 of the tiny crystals so that I can have my mushroom link, or my mushroom dangle. So making a link. These are really pretty. I love these. And I love that I have 2 more of them. I just, maybe we'll do 2 separate earrings. So let's do the earrings with the hearts and these, and then I'm gonna make some other simpler earrings that tie in some more of these other colors, maybe just some sticks. Yes, okay, that's what we're doing. We're making 2 pairs of earrings. So you can choose what you feel like wearing for your ears. Maybe you make one, maybe you make the other, maybe you make both and just change your mind like I'm going to, because I'm making both. So I already had this one on here and I hadn't loaded up another link. Actually, we'll just do those on pins anyway. So this is the only link I'm making So I'm just doing the same thing I did earlier. Snip that, make a little link. And then it's just a matter of putting these together once we get these dangles made. So, and yeah, let's get, do need to work hard in my little loops. Make sure that they're parallel, just a little twist. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, so this, I've got the pin down there at the bottom, and then I'm just going to bend this over. Oh, this is not the pins I thought they were. That was way easier than I expected, which means these are not the stainless steel ones. Let's see how they cut, because I don't want to have to do wrapped loops, but also this is really light. Oh no, it is the stainless steel. That was not going to cut easy. So I stopped, backed up. They are the ones I was thinking of, which means I can do a simple loop. I was just worried that the simple loop wasn't going to be enough, but it absolutely will. So it's just bending easy for some reason, but it didn't cut easy. And this is a very light dangle, so it's fine. It's fine. It's not carrying any weight, but a really small ceramic mushroom and a couple of tiny crystals. The weight will be carried farther up the earring. I always have a hard time when I use these cutters because I'm not right up against where it cuts. I always have a hard time estimating that. A little bit more tricky. A little bit more tricky. That's okay. As long as we have a loop to attach to. Okay. So let's get the actual pliers, not the round ones. We're going to open this one up, attach a mushroom, open this, and attach. This is the heavy part of the earring, by the way, because it is a big ceramic heart. I don't know if these are going to be too heavy. I'll put one in while I make the other one and see if I feel like it's too heavy. But I wanted to use those. I mean, the whole reason I added the yellow was because I saw the blue and I was like, oh, we should do these together. But then I was drawn more to the teal colors there. But this is cute, and it's super dangly and got some serious swish factor. And I'm just going to wear that while we make the other one just to see if it feels like it weighs down my ear. And I don't think so. I don't think that this one is too heavy. Some earrings are too heavy. I wanted to check it. I'll make sure that didn't look like it was quite close with a little Sophie fur. Sorry. I don't know if that showed up on camera. My dog's fur goes everywhere. She has really light, crinkly fur, and it just floats. It floats. She's a mix. She's mostly lap, but she's part Saint Bernard, and so she's got this flurfy undercoat. And man, does it flurf. It ends up on like my upper cabinets in my kitchen because it just floats its way up there. Not that my dog is up anywhere near my cabinets in my kitchen, but it just floats on up there. Just floats on up there. Okay, so that's one pair of earrings that is a thematic match, but not necessarily a color match for our necklace. But see, you know, it doesn't look so bad when you take into account our little birdie. You could absolutely wear these with this, and I don't think it would look bad. But let's do one that is a little bit more of a color match, and that's easy. Let's just grab a couple more pins, and we're gonna stack. I'm getting a small crystal, a yellow one of these guys, and we're not doing those. And then another yellow one, and then another small crystal. I have enough out for that. I do have more of all these beads, but, well, not this one. This uses up all of these rondelles. But this way we'll have just a nice simple stick earring that also, it doesn't weigh much, so I'm not worried about this wire. Get a little twist on it. that will be a better color match with our thing. So 2 styles, a dangly swingy affair and a very simple stack of different colored crystals that bring in the yellow and the teal, but still have a lot of sparkle. Like, it's still got a lot of sparkle, friends. Super, super easy. I hope that you've enjoyed this. I'm gonna get this done and we're gonna get everything moved so you can see it all together. And we will have this ready. I did it. It was late, but it is still Sunday. It's 10:30 p.m. on a Sunday night. And this is my second chain design for this week. This is my number 6 for the month. And so I'm doing it, friends. I decided to join my sister, and I'm actually following through on this. Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't put ear wires on those. They're not done. They're not earrings yet. They're just dangles. Not a real earring until it has an ear wire, right? Just swing that open. Get this on. Swing it closed. Another little, there it is. And I meant to give this a little squish, and I didn't, so getting the squish while it's attached to something is not as good, but it's still better than nothing. Okay, all right. So we have our lovely chain necklace with our little sunflower charm from the So Charming kit, plus a few beads from my stash, but some fun additions from the Carnival bead strand. And then we made these dangly pair of earrings, which are thematically a match, and they're not too bad when you take into consideration our little birdie. But then in case you wanted some simpler earrings that are more of a color match, we brought these guys into play. Ah, I love it. I love it. This totally worked out. So we are continuing the Beaded Chain Challenge. There are going to be links in the description to Becky's introduction, which includes some beading basics. It is I think we're just, what are we, two-thirds of the way through September. That doesn't mean you can't start. It doesn't matter what time you start. If you can do it at the beginning of the month, great. But if you want to challenge yourself to make a certain number of chain items in the next 10 days, you absolutely can. Or 9 days, I guess, because it's the 21st, about to be the 22nd. But for the next week. So if you want to do that, all you have to do is set yourself your own goal. Becky and I, our goal is to make 2 per week. It was Becky's goal, and I decided I would mirror that. And then if you want to, you can post your progress with it. You can join our community and post in there. There will be a link to our community in the description. Also a link to our playlist for this beaded chain challenge, as well as the previous beaded chain challenges that Becky did. And you can post there. You can also post in any groups that we are also part of, like Beading Besties or the Soft Flex group, or any of those things. If you want to post there and tag us so that we know you've made something, that's fantastic. If you want that accountability, if you just want to do it for you, you don't even have to share it with us. Like, that is not a requirement. This is about improving your skills, not proving to anybody else that you can do it. So this is something that we do, and we love that so many people have joined us on it. And if you want to, you can. You absolutely can. There's going to be links as well to SoftFlex, the SoftFlex playlist for the Customer Appreciation Week, where they used this kit, and other related things. And I think that's it. This was a special kit. It wasn't the monthly kit. It was for Customer Appreciation Week. The yellow strand came from TGBE, which is the Great Bead Extravaganza, also a special event. There is another TGBE coming up in October, I want to say, and that has a whole other separate kit that I can't show you. But it's called Black Brilliance, and you can purchase that now on Softflex's website, which again will be in the description below. Anyway, I had fun. I feel so much better now that I have accomplished this and finished this for the month or for the week. And we've got a whole lot more lined up for you this coming week. So I hope that you have a wonderful time. If you are not subscribed to our channel, go ahead and subscribe. Hit like if you liked this video. Leave a comment so that and let us know what you think. And as always, happy beading, and don't forget to play. Bye, friends.